That is for iPhone, Android, Windows-based PCs or tablets, and Mac OS as well. Hey guys, my name's Tom. I'm the Senior Account Manager for North America. I work for Autoflame Engineering. I work a lot with the guys at Rasmussen as one of our tech centers, one of our partners in the Midwest. So I'm here today to talk a little bit about the Mini MK9. So right off the bat, one of the immediate changes that you could see is really the graphical interface. Now, we've always been at the sort of forefront of graphics and manipulation of the user interface. But one of the big differences is sort of the flattening of the UX. So sort of gone are the days of going into your configure mode and options and getting so many layers deep. Now this is a completely flattened design. So yes, it's great for tech centers and commissioning engineers, but certainly for operators and end users, it's even more fluid to navigate that display. We've also brought some innovations to it as well. So we've recently just received a patent and it forms part of our UL and sort of global approvals as well. And that's something called UV flame trim. A lot of us are familiar with O2 trim. And what we do is actually one step above that in what's called 3-parameter trim, where we're trimming your O2, CO, and CO2. But what we've done is develop a solid state UV scanner. And that wires and is exclusive to the Mini MK9 and eventually when the MK9 comes out as well. That is a different technology to a traditional UV bulb, so a UV tron. And what we're doing is effectively looking at the flame with a much higher resolution. By doing that, we're still monitoring your UV and we interpret that as a UV count within the MM in the same way that we've always done that since we've had an internal flame safeguard. But now we can look at the flame in such minute and finite sort of characteristics that any fluctuations, we can pick that up. And there's actually a remarkably linear relationship between UV strength within the flame and your O2, so your excess air, and then your measured oxygen in the stack. So what we did, what the MM does is then effectively plot a curve behind the scenes. Again, in the same way that we do it with the EGA, so you have your commissioned O2, CO, CO2 value for every commission point, for every fuel air ratio position. We then also have a corresponding UV. And when we go what's called air rich and air lean to get your affected trim window, we then also do that with your UV. And we're creating this linear curve. And by doing this, by monitoring your UV, we can then adjust your air damper effectively in real time. We actually give it a bit of a damper, a bit of a 10-second waiting period. Otherwise, your damper will be trimming too much. So we wait 10 seconds and actually apply that trim after 10 seconds. We then back that up with your measured O2, whether it's an O2 probe or the Autoflame EGA, we then use that as a backup system. So we're getting effectively near instantaneous combustion trim backed up by a tried and tested O2 probe or EGA. Something else we've added in, when we first started launching this, I really described it as cloud integration, and I kept it purposely vague because we were still developing what that sort of would entail. The way that's going to work, that's going to feed in via an Ethernet port or Wi-Fi, feed into what eventually will become the MK9 DTI as well. So this actually has unlimited on-term logging. Previous system, Mini MK8, that had 24 hours. The MK8 DTI, which is our data transfer interface, that has 3 years. This now has unlimited logs. That feeds into a larger cloud-based system where we can receive downloads, logs. We can directly tie into the system in the same way that we can do with the MK8 DTI. But having that wireless connectivity in there also opens up a wealth of opportunity for taking downloads, uploading, taking screenshots, logo uploads, even software updates, all via a phone or really any system. So we have developed the MK9 Download Manager app. That is for iPhone, Android, Windows-based PCs or tablets, and Mac OS as well. And that is completely cross-compatible. So if I take a download on my iPhone, I can send it back to the office, open it up on their Windows PC, and we can all see exactly what's going on. We can see your fuel air ratio, we can see your option values, your configuration, your system log, your faults, even things like your first outs, which is something we now have on the Mini Mark9. We have first outs, we're going to have stage firing, change on the fly. All of these configuration options, that's all extractable and shareable across any device. Okay, and that is the gist of the Mini Mark9. If you've got any comments or if you've got any questions, please do leave them in the comments section below. Or you can also email me at salesinfo@autoflame.com. So remember, my name's Tom. You can always access me there as well.